Kisumu Governor Jack Ranguma, Uasin Gishu gubernatorial aspirant Zedekiah Bundotich Buzeki, and Ruaraka Member of Parliament TJ Kajwang are among those summoned to appear before the IEBC Disciplinary Committee today. The candidates are expected to respond to allegations of various electoral malpractices before the committee headed by the IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati. And right now we want to link up with our political affairs reporter, Patrick Amimo, who is following this particular case that is going on before the IEBC. And a good morning to you, Patrick. What can you tell us from what is happening at the KICC?
Our Wafula Chebukati will be listening to 15 cases. This is involving at least 2 cases involving the governors, 7 cases involving members of parliament, and 6 are involving members of the county assembly. Kisumu Governor Jack Ranguma will appear before the committee, the Electoral Code of Conduct Enforcement Committee, and is facing, at least his accuser is one Alois Ager. We don't know the facts under which Ranguma or Ager is accusing Ranguma of, but then we also have another petitioner, Peter Kibet Chepkonga, who is also suing, having a case with Uasin Gishu Independent Governor Zedekiah Bundotich, alias popularly known as Buzeki. This particular matter will be heard this morning, and also remember this particular case is just coming when yesterday we saw the High Court Judge Justice William Musyoka give Migori Independent gubernatorial aspirant Ochilo Ayako a reprieve when he sued IEBC, saying that he did not have mandate to listen to criminal charges that had been preferred against him by Migori governor, that is Zakaria Okoth-Obado, over the violence that happened in Migori in the month of June. When this matter came before IEBC and Ayako was summoned, he went to the High Court and said, challenging the decision, because under the Electoral Code, under the Election Offences Act 2016, Ochilo Ayako argued that Article 21 of that particular act empowers the Director of Public Prosecutions to be the one in charge of instituting any criminal charges. So he argued that by IEBC Enforcement Committee trying to summon him, it was overstretching its mandate and so also abusing the office, because IEBC, according to Ochilo Ayako, he claimed that it is a referee in this particular election and should not be allowed to hear any matters touching on criminal charges or matters relating to violence. That's how Ochilo Ayako yesterday had a reprieve from the High Court, and that matter then it means like Ochilo Ayako will not appear before the IEBC Enforcement Committee. Now today it will be very interesting to see how Chebukati and his team will go through these particular cases that are before them. Last week we saw the committee listen to 18 cases where also Vihiga Governor Moses Akaranga was fined $500,000 shillings for using NASA president, the peak images of the NASA presidential candidate Raila Odinga, and we saw that time Akaranga argued that he is a bona fide member of NASA because he said he was the appointment in Vihiga, and the principals had invited him to in fact host their rallies when they were in Vihiga County. So we've seen that matter, and in fact like Akaranga has been arguing and saying that maybe IEBC was unfair to him. Last week also we saw the matter that appeared, of the 18 cases that appeared before the IEBC Enforcement Committee, what to do with the use of candidates, especially those independent candidates, using portraits of different presidential candidates. For those in Jubilee, they were accused of using the portraits of President Uhuru Kenyatta and his running mate William Ruto. And for those in the NASA, those supporting the NASA presidential candidate were accused of using the images of Raila Amolo Odinga, who is the NASA flag bearer. So we saw the IEBC that time, like for the case of the Nyahururu, Nyandarua County, where they asked, Laikipia County, where they asked Mureithi, who is an independent governor, they asked him to remove those posters of Uhuru Kenyatta, and also asked him not to use colors that are close to the Jubilee colors. We also in Lamu, we saw in Lamu the women rep also there complaining about the independent candidate, Mudhoni, who is an independent candidate, but she's now using colors close to Jubilee, and she also put her portraits on the portraits of President Uhuru Kenyatta. So the women rep Radoma argued that when Uhuru was in Lamu last week, he could not endorse her because he felt he was blackmailed. So they felt that independent candidates are trying to blackmail those presidential candidates, either on those who are running on either Jubilee ticket or NASA ticket, to endorse independent candidates in preference of those candidates that are supported by their parties. If in either case, if it be Jubilee and or NASA affiliate, be it ODM, ANC, and or Chama cha Mashinani or Ford Kenya in that case, because NASA is a coalition of 5 political parties. So this is a matter that we'll be looking at and see how it pans out, because most of the complaints are to do with the use of colors. And we saw last week the litigants, lawyers argue that the colors are not universal, or they are not a preserve of any political party. So they said they can use any colors, and some of them were very also. They did indicate, especially for the independent candidates, they said that they also have their preferred presidential candidates. So they have that liberty to also use their images or portraits on their posters as they campaign for those candidates. This is a tricky matter that IEBC Enforcement Committee will be looking at, because out there then it means that those who are gunning on either Jubilee ticket or NASA ticket are claiming those parties that are not their affiliates then are using these portraits to gain undue influence of their members. So that is the matter that we'll be looking at as the matter goes on. Maybe from here we'll be proceeding to the plenary and see what happens. Back to you, Sharon.
Many thanks, Patrick Amimo, coming to us live there from KICC. Now, Liberia.